So guys, welcome back to another SmackDown vs. Raw 2007. So nagpapasalamat ako sa inyo lahat sa pagsuporta na aking channel, lalo sa mga dati ko pang gameplay ng SmackDown vs. Raw. So pagpatuloy natin itong gameplay natin. So let's fucking do this, guys. So guys, welcome back to another SmackDown vs. Raw 2007. So last time ay kinalaban natin si Chris Master at nanalo yung isang babae. So guys, marami ako naging problema dito sa game na to. So ang dami kong ginawa dito kasi nag-stuck siya at gusto nang kuhanin sa akin tong balang to. Pero tapusin kagad natin to. Iwan muna natin yung Call of Duty World at War pati Naruto Shippuden Ultimate Ninja 5. So begin mix tayo. Okay, Trish versus Peaky. Low blow.
A big New England welcome from Portland, Maine. This is good old JR, Jim Ross here with Jerry the King Lawler.
I've never seen a crowd so fired up, JR. I can't wait to get started, and neither can I.
That makes two of us, King. I don't think Portland's going to know what hit it after tonight.
Bangon.
I tell you, King, sometimes I get exhausted just watching these superstars compete.
I know what you mean, JR. I don't think most people appreciate what incredible athletes these WWE superstars really are.
You've got to have some excellent conditioning to be able to do what they do.
Well, that's the name of the game, JR. You got to keep moving. No dog ever peed on a moving car.
Oh, that's a lovely image, King. I'd ask you where you come up with this stuff, but I don't think I want to know, quite frankly.
Dito ka re-wrestlingin yung
baka.
So nag-stuck to. So may ginawa lang ako para hindi mag-stuck. So inulit ko ulit, guys.
Quite frankly, I'd rather see a good competitive matchup than see a particular superstar win or lose this thing.
Oh, come on. Everyone knows you play favorites. You're always trying to kiss up to the fans by talking up whoever they're cheering for.
I've never been a kiss up in my life, King, which is more than I can say for some people. I call them like I see them, and I'm flattered that the WWE fans agree with me as often as they do.
I don't know how much more of this I can stand to listen to, JR. You know what the difference between you and I-95 is? You can turn off I-95.
That went nowhere. What a reversal. A textbook reversal there.
So, JR, are you enjoying the match so far?
Yes, I am. I think these superstars are putting on one hell of an exhibition here tonight.
What's your favorite part of it so far?
I don't think it's happened yet. My favorite part of the match will be when you quit yapping and let me enjoy it.
Now, JR. Keep your words soft and sweet, because you may have to eat them later. You talk about ruthless aggression. Look at the way these superstars have been going after each other.
They're not playing with kid gloves, that's for sure.
We knew we were going to see a heck of a match, but this might turn out to be... No. Go ahead and say it, JR.
All right, I will. I think this one's got all the makings of a bona fide slobber knocker. I think this crowd has decided to exercise the right of free speech. My God, what an impact! A human skull slammed against those unforgiving steel ring steps.
That'll ring your bell for sure, JR. And if this keeps up, someone had better ring the bell and stop this thing.
Excellent counter. What ring presence?
Oh! Basta na maulo ko.
Boy, what a match. I wouldn't even hazard a guess as to who's going to win this thing.
What? Have you got both your contacts in one eye, JR? It's been obvious to me since the start of the match.
Oh, really? Well, then, why don't you just enlighten the rest of us, King?
No way. I can already tell this is going to be a great match, and I don't want to ruin the ending for you.
You're too kind, King. You're also full of horse manure, as far as I can tell.
Well, from the looks of things, it's not hard to tell how this one's going to go.
What are you talking about, King? I think this is still an extremely competitive match that could go either way.
You know, JR, it's obvious that the only exercise you get is stretching the truth or jumping to conclusions.
Well, judging from the shape I'm in, I don't appear to be doing too much of either, King. You're looking pretty fit, though, I must say.
I think we're going to find out just how much punishment the human body can withstand here tonight.
I think you're right, King. These superstars seem intent on taking each other to the limit.
I love that attitude, JR. Go big or go home.
Well, these superstars sure aren't going home until this match is...
Uh-oh. That ring apron is a dangerous place to be when you're in bad shape.
Good Lord. What a knife-edge chop. You can hear it echoing off the walls of this arena. This capacity crowd is making their opinions known tonight.
They sure are, JR. This has been one heck of a match, JR. But I think the end is in sight. These superstars are running on fumes.
Her opponent is dazed and confused. Can she capitalize? She sure can, JR. That neck kick will do a number on anyone. And here come the close
3, 4, 5, 6.
And this can also change the complexion of the face, JR. I don't even want to think about the bruises we'll see on this superstar tomorrow. Can you believe we actually get paid to do this job, JR?
It's like a dream come true, King. Except when I have to sit here and listen to you drool over the diva.
Come on, JR. She's measuring her opponent.
Oh, man. She got all of that mid kick, King. And here's the pin.
2, 3, hit. Pinfall.
What's this? It's Stephanie McMahon.
You know it's going to be a big night when the daughter of the chairman of the board pays us a visit.
For a month now, I've watched this whole title controversy unfold. I'm not going to stand for it any longer. The board of directors may have failed to make a decision, but I am going to remedy that right now. My family, the McMahon family, created that title. And for the good of Raw and all the people out there, I'm taking it back.
Can she do that?
Her last name was McMahon the last time I checked. You want to tell her she can't, King?
Hey, there's only one dominant female in the WWE, ladies, and you're looking at her. But Trish, I've got to admit, I kind of admire what you pulled off, so I'm not sending you away empty-handed. I'm gonna give the previous champion a title opportunity at Unforgiven. But I'm gonna let you pick his opponent, because I know how you like doing favors for the boys in the back.
Well, Trish Stratus may no longer be the WWE champion, but she's gonna choose one of the contenders for the vacated title.
You seem to be under the mistaken impression that Trish ever was the WWE champion, King. I think Stephanie made it pretty clear that she wasn't and never could be.
Okay, so ginago tayo itong babaeng to. Tayo naman magiganti dito. Okay. Okay, it's Shane McMahon.
Hey, this is Shane McMahon. Look, I've received your messages. Please stop calling. I don't know what to tell you about the WWE title situation yet. The board of directors...
Ano na natin yan?
Hey there, it's Mickey. Look, I'm really sorry about how the triple threat title match turned out for you last night.
Ano na natin yan? So, punta naman tayo dito. I'll destroy versus Masters first big show, okay. 7 feet.
A big New England welcome from Portland, Maine. This is good old JR, Jim Ross here with Jerry the King Lawler.
I've never seen a crowd so fired up, JR. They can't wait to get started, and neither can I.
That makes 2 of us, King. I don't think Portland's going to know what hit it after tonight. Boy, what a match. I wouldn't even hazard a guess as to who's going to win this thing.
What? Have you got both your contacts in one eye, JR? It's been obvious to me since the start of the match.
Oh, really? Well, then, why don't you just enlighten the rest of us, King?
No way. I can already tell this is going to be a great match, and I don't want to ruin the ending for you.
You're too kind, King. You're also full of horse manure, as far as I can tell. These superstars are going to put each other through wrestling hell tonight.
They've already got a pretty good start on that, JR.
They have indeed, King. I don't think there's an ounce of quit between them.
Yeah, and that's where things get dangerous. If you're too proud to admit that it's not your night, you might wind up risking your career for a single match.
But at the same time, King, no one makes it up the ladder without pushing themselves to the very limit. It's a very fine line to walk.
Watch out! He reversed it!
Bulak ako.
I feel like we shouldn't even be talking during this match, JR. We should just silently admire the masterpiece, like we were looking at a sculpture in a museum or something.
If you want to zip your lips for a few minutes, King, I won't complain. But don't expect me to show Chris Masters any more respect than he's shown to the WWE superstars and fans.
He's got his opponent locked into submission, JR. This could be it.
It could indeed. He might force his opponent to tap out right here. Oh, boy, this is not going to be an easy hole to escape from.
It sure isn't, JR. I've been on the wrong end of that one many times. Wow, there's a hole you don't want to find yourself in, JR.
You sure don't, King. We've seen many a superstar tap out to this.
So, how do you think this one's going
Anong bang match rules nito? Ay.
to turn out, JR?
Honestly, King, I have absolute... He's got the crowd and his opponent in the palm of his hand.
That can change in an instant, especially if you let your opponent catch his breath.
Sounds like this crowd's got something on their minds, King.
Who cares about them, JR? Look what's going on in the ring. I'll agree with you about the larger part, JR. He's about as wide as he is tall. I'd say he should take up sumo wrestling, but I don't want to see him in a loincloth.
No one's ever going to accuse Big Show of being a pretty little ballerina, King. I think he's a great deal more agile than you give him credit for.
Well, he couldn't be much less. He's got all the grace of a bull elephant and half the size.
Oh.
I think it's pretty obvious which way this one's going to go, JR.
Well, from my perspective, this is still anybody's match.
I'd like to see things from your perspective, JR, but I'd have to get my head out of my rear end first.
And Lord knows it's been up there for so long that that would be no easy feat.
Ay!
So long, ref. Sweet dreams.
It's going to be a while before the referee gets up from that.
It looks like they've slowed the match down a little. I think that's some good strategy right there.
It certainly is. I'm sure they're well acquainted with the old expression, fools rush in.
Is that why you always seem to be in such a hurry, JR?
I think I've eaten a little too much good Oklahoma barbecue in my day, King, to hurry anywhere.
Wow, what a shot! He's been busted wide open. That's going to need stitches for sure.
Stitches, hell. That might mean the end of this match. He's risking serious injury by continuing to compete.
There's no reward without risk, JR. And these are WWE superstars. They're not going to stop the match just because of a little blood.
He
You talk about ruthless aggression. Look at the way these superstars have been going after each other.
They're not playing with kid gloves, that's for sure.
We knew we were going to see a heck of a match, but this might turn out to be... go ahead and say it, JR.
All right, I will. I think this one's got all the makings of a bona fide slobber knocker.
You got to respect the commitment and the dedication of these superstars to their careers.
No question about it, King. Every superstar on the roster has had to make more sacrifices than any other professional athlete I know.
It really is like being married. Look at that! He's bleeding like a stuck pig!
The referee had better get in there and take a look at that. We may need to stop this match.
Stop the match? Are you crazy, JR? It's just getting interesting. I've got to say, JR, I'm really impressed by what we've seen here tonight.
How could you not be, King? These are some of the finest athletes in all of sports entertainment.
I know that, JR. I'm just saying that this has been a great match so far.
It has indeed, King, and I think it's only going to get better from here on out.
You know, JR, when I saw this match on paper, I wasn't too sure about it. But it's turned out a lot better than I thought it would. I don't know if his opponent has what it takes to kick out.
Well, you can't ever accuse the WWE fans of being shy about saying...
Here's your winner, the People's Champ.
Okay, skip na natin. Begin week tayo.
You know, Show, now that I'm around, you're gonna get something that you haven't had in a long, long time. The WWE title.
You're damn right. You made the right decision when you hooked up with me, Trish. I don't think there's any doubt in your mind anymore that bigger is definitely better. Unlike Chris Masters, I know how to get the job done. And that's exactly what I'll do at Unforgiven.
What we'll do at Unforgiven. I'm gonna take you all the way to the title, just like I took Chris Masters. Well, not exactly like Chris Masters, but you know what I mean.
Oh yeah, I know what you mean.
Okay.
I know exactly what you mean.
Patay tayo. Oh, it's Nitsuki. Stamina.
Good old JR, Jim Ross here with Jerry the King Lawler, welcoming you to Raw live from Los Angeles, California.
I love this town, JR. And I hope I get a chance to audition some young starlets later.
Oh!
You just never stop, do you, King?
Big show.
Personally, I'm looking forward to tonight's show. I think it's going to be a real barn burner.
Well, from the looks of things, it's not hard to tell how this one's going to go.
What are you talking about, King? I think this is still an extremely competitive match that could go either way.
You know, JR, it's obvious that the only exercise you get is stretching the truth or jumping to conclusions.
Well, judging from the shape I'm in, I don't appear to be doing too much of either, King.
Oh.
You're looking pretty good, though, I must say.
I think it's pretty obvious which way this one's going to go, JR.
Well, from my perspective, this is still anybody's match.
I'd like to see things from your perspective, JR, but I'd have to get my head out of my rear end first.
And Lord knows it's been up there for so long that that would be no easy feat.
So, how do you think this one's going to turn out, JR?
Honestly, King, I have absolutely no idea. Anything can happen here in the WWE.
But you've got to have a guess, right?
I might, but I'd rather keep it to myself if it's all the same to you, King. What? A textbook reversal there. What a disgusting, despicable human being.
This is a mistake, JR. Everyone knows that overconfidence costs superstars matches.
That might be true, King, but all I see is a very confident superstar who's got everything going his way.
These superstars are getting some feedback from the quickest way to lose a match is to underestimate your opponent.
I don't think he's underestimating anyone, King. I think he's making it clear that he refuses to be intimidated.
Show off all you want, but it's not going to win you the match.
Panalo tayo.
Get the crowd behind you can certainly give you the edge.
Sabi ko na nga ba. Ring out.
Here's your winner, the People's Champ.
This is so exciting. Our title match is only 6 days away.
Our title match?
I mean, your title match, of course. I'm just excited to manage you all the way to the WWE Championship.
Manage? Yeah. Trish, about that, I don't think so.
Excuse me?
Look, we've had some fun these past few weeks. I got what I wanted by having you name me #1 contender. And we both know you got something out of it too. But I'm not an idiot like Chris Masters. I know what happens when you get involved in title matches. So thanks, but no thanks. Now, if you'll excuse me, I've got to meet a man in the parking lot before I meet him at Unforgiven this Sunday.
Oh, shit.
Don't you walk out on me. Don't you dare. Nobody does that to me. Do you understand me? Nobody. I am Trish Stratus. What are you doing? Let go of me. Put me down.
Nako. Oh, man. Backstage brawl. Gusto mo talaga ng ano away Inamo mo pa talaga ako dito. Sakit. Patay ka ngayon sa akin. Tulog. Ti. kinalmot ang mukha. Ti, sakit ng pit. Ti. KO. Ti. Guys, kayo na magbasa nito. Big Shows goes 4. Okay, so kayo na magbasa, guys. Ayan, post ninyo na lang. Yon, Unforgiven.
He's come so...
Here comes that idiot.
Ti. Ano kayang ano nito? Kalaban ulit natin ito eh. Ano kayang ano nito? Dapat kapag ganyan special match eh. Match rules. Oh man.
Up the turnbuckle he goes. I hope he knows what he's doing.
Oh, counter. Galing na nito.
A textbook reversal there.
Oh.
So, JR, are you enjoying the match so far?
Yes, I am. I think these superstars are putting on one hell of an exhibition here tonight.
What's your favorite part of it so far?
I don't think it's happened yet. My favorite part of the match would be when you quit yapping and let me enjoy it.
Now, JR. Keep your words soft and sweet because you may have to eat them later. Did you ever think you'd be watching these superstars compete against each other here tonight, JR?
I had a feeling their paths were going to cross sooner or later, and I'm glad I'm here to see it.
Me too. It almost makes it worth having to sit next to you and listen to those corny expressions of yours. What the heck is a government mule anyway?
It's what you get beat like when you're in the middle of a slobber knock. And if you don't have the guts to stick around, you might run like a scalded dog with a case of the liver thing.
All right, enough! I'm getting a translator before I have to come out here with you again. I've been looking forward to this match all night, JR. I can't believe it's finally underway.
This has been a hotly anticipated contest. And as far as I'm concerned, it's living up to the hype.
No question about that, JR. The fans certainly seem to be into it, that's for sure.
And when it comes down to it, that's all that matters.
Di, ikot siya.
It looks like they've slowed the match down a little. And I think that's some good strategy right there.
It certainly is. I'm sure they're well acquainted with the old expression, fools rush in.
Is that why you always seem to be in such a hurry, JR?
I think I've eaten a little too much good Oklahoma barbecue in my day, King, to hurry anywhere.
You got to respect the commitment and the dedication of these superstars to their careers.
No question about it, King. every superstar on the roster has had to make more sacrifices than any other professional athlete I know.
It really is like being married to your career. There's not much room for anything else.
And marriage is a subject which you happen to be something of an authority. Isn't that right, King?
Come on now, JR. A man doesn't know what true happiness is until he's married. And then it's too late.
I think this crowd has decided to exercise the right of free speech.
God bless the First Amendment, JR. I think I know who's going to win this one, JR.
Oh, really? Enlighten us, King.
Wait a second. Why are you so eager to hear my prediction?
Because I want to know who's going to win. And 9 times out of 10, it's not the superstar you pick.
Okay, kakawawain kita.
I've got to say, JR, I'm really impressed by what we've seen here tonight.
How could you not be, King? These are some of the finest athletes in all of sports entertainment.
I know that, JR. I'm just saying that this has been a great match so far.
It has indeed, King, and I think it's only going to get better from here on out.
So, how do you think this one's going to turn out, JR?
Honestly, King, I have absolutely no idea. Anything can happen here in the WWE.
But you've got to have a guess, right?
I might, but I'd rather keep it to myself if it's all the same to you, King. Boy, when you look at these superstars, it really drives home the fact that Raw is the dominant brand of sports entertainment.
Oh, there's no doubt about that, JR. There's not a superstar on the SmackDown roster who could hold a candle to Raw's finest.
I wouldn't go that far, King. There are quite a few SmackDown superstars who I'd love to have on Raw.
Oh, come on, JR. Why would you want to lower the tone of the Raw locker room by bringing in some losers from SmackDown?
King, next time you call The Undertaker, Kurt Angle, and Chris Benoit losers, make sure you give me some warning so I can get the hell out of here before you do it. I don't want to be any part of what that one did. Well, you can't ever accuse the WWE fans of being shy about saying what's on their minds.
You sure can't, JR. You're going to telegraph that one. I think it's pretty obvious which way this one's going to go, JR.
Well, from my perspective, this is still anybody's match.
Look at that! He's bleeding like a stuck pig!
The referee had better get in there and take a look at that. We may need to stop this match.
Stop the match? Are you crazy, JR? It's just getting interesting. Talk about ruthless aggression. Look at the way these superstars have been going after each other.
They're not playing with kid gloves, that's for sure. What a submission hold! Could this be a tap out?
It isn't. The hold can't be broken. You can't take this kind of pain for long.
He did it! He did it right here at Unforgiven. He recaptured the title that some would argue was his all along. It looks like justice has finally been served.
And you know what? I'm glad he did. Now you can stop going on about how he got cheated out of it in the first place.
This is a great victory. Nothing against the Big Show, of course, but it just goes to prove that there's nothing that can keep a true champion from the WWE title.
Okay. Okay, Unforgiven Championship. So guys, so hanggang dito na lang muna tayo. So nagpapasalamat ako sa inyo lahat. So thank you for watching and I will see you next time. Peace out.